I'm Shelley Molnar. I'm from Warren Township.
Warren Township in Somerset County.
In Somerset County. And I first met you a few years ago. Now, I don't expect you to remember our conversation, but I remember every word. And I went to see you right after the terrorism attack at Sandy Hook, where children and teachers were massacred. And I asked you whether you would help to do something on a federal level to protect our children by instituting reasonable gun laws. Reasonable gun laws. Your response to me was that you advocated for states' rights and said that the state should determine gun laws, and that New Jersey already had strong gun laws. So I'm curious, and then the other thing you said, and I agree with it, is that it would be a mental health issue that we should be addressing. And you're absolutely right, it is a mental health issue. So I was surprised when there was a law that was passed that allowed people that were deemed to have mental illness by receiving Social Security benefits, that you were advocating for them and actually voted in favor of not restricting access to guns. And in a previous meeting, town hall meeting, you pointed out that someone had come delivering water to the Sandy Hook, Hurricane Sandy victims, and happened to forget that he had an assault weapon and other guns in his truck, which obviously is a whole other issue, which I find problematic, and he was arrested. So I think that we have ways to address that. As our president has pointed out, there is such a thing as a pardon. I don't think that we should legislate gun laws based on an isolated instance where someone forgot about his assault weapon. So how will you vote on the reciprocity for concealed carry? Will you uphold New Jersey's laws?
Thank you. I believe the federal government has a role to play, and if I gave you the impression I thought it was only the state government, I'm sorry if I gave you that impression. I certainly believe the federal government has a role to play, and to that end I was one of a minority of Republicans who voted to place more funding in the background check situation at the federal level, number one. Number two, there were two votes on the issue you raised. Are you aware there was a second one regarding military veterans?
Yeah.
I see. Well, I voted and was one of a handful of Republicans. I think there were two of us who voted in a way I would imagine you agree on that, because the military had said that it favored the legislation. These are veterans who have mental health challenges, and so I presume you favor the way I voted, and I was one of two Republicans in the House of Representatives, as I recall.
Right.
I think the other was Congressman Donovan of Long Island, to vote as I did, and I hope from your perspective I've given some credit in that. And then in the bill where you disagree with my vote, the principal reason I didn't vote as you suggest, and I certainly understand your reasons for supporting it, is that it was opposed by the ACLU, and the ACLU was adamant that it thought it was too broad and went too far. Our office will be happy to share with you the views of the American Civil Liberties Union, and that is why I voted as I did, and I separated the two issues. The votes were not in seriatim. I think the second one occurred several weeks after the first one. I voted the way I did on the second one because it was my beliefs, and I don't think the ACLU was against the second one. As I recall, it was against the first one. And then regarding the reciprocity issue, I will look at your views. I understand that states have the right to govern this issue by and large. I don't want anyone to be unfairly charged passing through this state, but I understand that we have strict gun control laws in New Jersey, and this is a matter decided by our state legislature, and I will be happy to examine your views further on that, and you're welcome to give me information on that. And I am advised on these issues based upon suggestions and comments from all interested groups. And I don't know whether the ACLU would opine on that, but certainly
On reciprocity? On reciprocity?
on any of these issues. But I'll be certainly happy to look at your views, and your point is...
But how would you vote on reciprocity if you believe in states' rights? And New Jersey has laws against concealed carry. How would you vote if you are in favor of states' rights? Why would you vote to allow other states' laws where they allow concealed carry to apply in our state?
I agree with That's a good point. I do think there was a situation where a man in New Jersey was arrested who was helping after...
Hurricane Sandy, yes.
After Sandy?
Yes.
And
that's an isolated instance. So you look at children that are being killed, people that are being shot, we have mass shootings, and we have one person with an assault weapon in his truck that he forgot about. I think that's a problem. I don't want someone riding around our highways with an assault weapon.
Would you have incarcerated him? Would you have incarcerated him?
I think that we have lawyers that could handle this, and I think that we have a governor that could have pardoned him.
And regarding Sandy Hook, that horrific tragedy, that horrible tragedy.
Right. And there are lots of other ones.
Yes, there are. Yeah, I don't know. I will certainly take your views into consideration.
Why wouldn't you know? Why wouldn't you know if you believe in states' rights? Why don't the citizens of New Jersey have the right to protect themselves?
I also believe there is a federal role to play.
So why didn't that role play when children were being killed at Sandy Hook?
As I recall,
when President Obama went on TV and thought that maybe we could get reasonable gun laws, why did the federal government not have a role? Then it was states' rights. By the way, I do like you. I mean, I am pleased that you're here. I'm pleased that you're talking with us. I just am concerned about our children being killed.
As am I.
Yes.
And as I recall in Sandy Hook, which of course is in Connecticut, it has among the strictest gun control laws in the nation, and the weapons were purchased by the mother of the perpetrator.
Right.
Is that accurate?
That's correct.
And
yes.
I tragically say,
yeah.
I don't know how that could have been avoided given the fact that the mother purchased those weapons.
Right.
She shouldn't have been able to.
So you don't believe that the mother should have been able to purchase those weapons? Is that your view? I believe the laws in Connecticut are the strictest in the nation.
So they need to be strong.
In any event, I have not signed on to that bill, and I'll certainly examine it. And I hope that you give me credit for voting as I did on a bill regarding veterans with mental health issues. You mentioned one bill, but I also voted a week or two later the other way.
I guess I don't understand why we can discriminate against veterans with mental health issues and not other people with mental health issues, because both of them are prone to
The reason I didn't vote the way the first time is because the ACLU said it was
and you should have the ACLU on all. You always support the ACLU? I'm just asking.
No, I support no group totally. I view each issue as it comes to me.
Okay.
And I take into consideration the views of all important groups.
Okay.
And I certainly take your views into consideration. And to answer your question, no, I don't vote always based upon what one group says, but I believe I have had the tradition of trying to examine all of the evidence that comes before me. And on that issue, I was persuaded by the position of the ACLU.
And how do you vote with the NRA? Do you always vote, do you vote against them ever?
I voted against the NRA on the second bill related to military veterans. Given my review of the entire issue and given the testimony of high military officials in this country, including, as I recall, the views of General Petraeus. Thank you for your question. Next question.